All right, squad, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do image uploads using Uppy with ActiveStorage in Rails for our new luxury stays website. So let's have a quick look at what we're doing. So we're setting it up like this so you can get this beautiful page here. And then from here, we're gonna have the dashboard where you can hit upload, use the Uppy uploader, upload as many images as you like here. And that's what we're gonna do. So let's jump in. All right, team, let's dive straight back into where we left off. So what we wanna do today is we wanna do the images. So at the moment, it just looks a bit bleh. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use ActiveStorage to put the images in, and we're gonna probably use the Uppy library to do that. I think we're gonna use the upload like that, some sort of drop zone, just so that we can easily drop images in. It can get pretty complicated pretty quick, but we'll try and keep it simple. So the first thing is that we're going to set up our image model. All right, and I'll just explain why. So usually you can reference a model can have many assets via ActiveStorage. So you could say, for instance, a listing has many images or whatever files through ActiveStorage. But the problem with that is that you can't sort them. You can't like have custom naming because it's kind of in its own table. So by creating a table like images, and then an image has one file, it's much easier to work with, and it's much more scalable long-term. So I do recommend doing it this way. I have found this over time, so bear with me and just let's dive in. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go Rails G model, and we're gonna go image, okay? Just gonna set that. Image is already used in application, so maybe we set this up last time. Is that possible? Let's have a look. Yeah, we do have the image model. Cool. All right, no worries. We've already set that up in the first video. So you can see it here. Image belongs to organization and the subject. So at the moment, it's nothing. It's really just a table of nothingness. So we'll install ActiveStorage and then link that. So I'm just going to use the Rails guides here so we can see the ActiveStorage requirements. So we need the image processing gem, and then you'll need libvips on your system as well, so that you can do image analysis or ImageMagick. libvips is way faster, so do use that. I highly recommend it. We use this in production and it just sped up everything. If you're doing video, you use FFmpeg. So let's just check our bundle now. So we're gonna jump in here. We're gonna look for gem file, I should say, sorry. And then we'll look for image, I think image processing, there we go. So that gem's uncommented, and make sure that that is. And then also we want ActiveStorage should already be installed. So now what we want to do is we're going to do the setup here. So we're going to ActiveStorage install, okay? So let's get ready to run that. Okay, so in here, we're going to run, just paste that in, Rails ActiveStorage install. We're going to hit enter on that. And it's created a migration now, all the tables for us. So if we're going to jump into our DB migrate, you'll see it'll set up 3 tables, I believe. Yep, so we're going to have ActiveStorage blobs. We're gonna have ActiveStorage attachments, and we're gonna have variant records. Okay, so the blob is the actual file itself, the original file that gets uploaded, and then it keeps track of what service you're doing. So it could be local, it could be S3, it could be whatever you wanna use. The ActiveStorage joins the blob and the record. So when we say an image has one file, it will have the record will be the image and the blob will be the reference up here. That's a join table, and then you have your variant records. So when we're using image transforms, and we want to use show a thumbnail, we can actually downsize it. It's going to create it once, store that against our storage system, and then we reuse that every time. So that's what those things do. Sets up our primary keys. So we can just run Rails DB migrate now. That's put those tables in there for us. Yep, so that's just what the setup says there. All right, and here's a description basically of what I've just told you to do. Now we're going to use local storage here while we're building this. So this is the cool thing about ActiveStorage. You can use local here, and then when we go to production, we can use Amazon S3, which is my preferred and where I'll go, but you could use anything there. Okay, so let's go to config, and then it should be storage. Just close that off, close that off. All right, so you can see here, test we're using disk, local we're using disk as well. And then here's where we can uncomment Amazon, all right, when we're ready. So we'll come in here later when we actually deploy and fix that up. But for now, we're gonna just use the disk, which just makes it so much easier, so much faster when we're working locally. All right, you can see here in the docs, this is how we define it. So in config, so this is in config environments development. So if we open up config environments development, and then we can look for ActiveStorage. I don't know if it's actually, there it is, service is local, all right? And then depending on what you want to use, so for production, you use Amazon there, and then it would use those credentials from that file. So you set up all the credentials in the storage YAML file, and then you define it in your environment here, okay? All right, now, so this is just telling us to use your bucket names to further reduce the risk of accidentally destroying production data, which is very good. So we got the storage here, and now we can do our attaching files to records. So what you do here is you see has one attached, and then you say avatar. So this is what I was saying before. So a listing could technically have has many attached images, for instance. But I prefer, like I said, this other way, where you say an image has one attached file, okay? And then that way, our listings can have many images, and then we can name the images, we can caption them, we can do all those kind of cool things, which would be very difficult to do using just pure ActiveStorage, right? You can also do sorting, because you can just sort the image record, not the actual ActiveStorage record, which is hard to do. Or I don't even know if it is possible. It probably is, but you're hacking the internals, which you don't really want to be doing. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say now on our image model, belongs to organization A, what's going on here? And then has one attached, not avatar, but actually a file, right? So it's gonna have one file. An image will have one file, okay? So now when we create an image record, we can upload a file to that. Very simple, all right? Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. You can see when something's attached, but this is a whole ActiveStorage thing. I've done one on these before, so if you want to go deeper, go watch one of those videos. Okay, so what we want to do now is let's add Uppy to our project. So we're gonna go yarn add, and there's a few packages here, so I'm just gonna copy them in. So it's Uppy core, we need Uppy dashboard, we need Uppy drag drop, and we need Uppy XHR upload. And while I'm here, I'm also gonna grab Uppy AWS S3 for later on. All right, so because we can actually upload directly to S3, so we don't block our server, but let's just add these in and let it do its thing. Okay, so what I wanna do now is I wanna create a component, which will be our drop zone component, okay? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go into here, and we're gonna go Rails G view component, and then I'm just gonna call it upload drop zone. That's it. So we're gonna hit that, and now we're gonna have our new little component here. So what we're gonna do is straight underneath the description here, we're gonna have in the form itself, let's just have a look here. Yeah, that's the whole form there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here, and we're gonna go component, and it's gonna be upload drop zone. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna supply some params to this thing. So it's gonna be basically our file type. So it's gonna be, actually, let's just leave it like this for now. We can figure those out later. So now we should see it pop in there. There we go. All right. Now what we need to do inside here as well is we're going to initialize just a new controller. So stimulus controller, a JS here. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a copy paste job and paste it in. So what we're doing here is we're importing the Uppy styles for the dashboard. We need to create this, and we need to create this. So we need to create a new file here, which is going to just be styles.css. And then from here, we're going to import those. And that's just basic, simple overrides. So I'm going to just chuck them in there. This is all available in the source code though, so don't stress. Let me just fix this formatting a little bit. So we got background color transparent, and then we're just setting the different border colors depending on light or dark mode. Is it fixed? All that kind of stuff. Now we need this one. So this is a little util, and I'm gonna grab it for us. It's gonna go utils. So I'm gonna grab this one, copy. So it lives in JavaScript, new folder, utils. I'm gonna paste that in. And this isn't basically I've just copied this code and just made a few changes to it. But it's just basically a plugin for Uppy to be able to use here. You can see it says use, and it's just an ActiveStorage plugin. All right, there's a few versions on the internet, but this is kind of a slightly modified version. So now we got this, and okay, so I'll talk you through how this all works, right? So we've got Uppy, we've got our Uppy dashboard, we've got post from Rails request.js, which we need that as well. Let me just make sure we have that, because what that does is it automatically includes the CSRF token when we make queries. So just need to find package JSON and just make sure we have that. Rails request.js. All right, so let's grab that. So we're gonna go yarn add request.js. Okay, cool. So we got that now. So we got the controller, we got Uppy, we got Uppy dashboard, we got this post request, we got the styles coming in, got this file, got this file. Now we've got our targets, the dashboard trigger. So that'll be the button that we click on to trigger this pop-up. And then our allowed file types, field name, direct upload, and let's sort those. Direct upload up URL, field name, and then the update URL. And then it's Uppy. Cool, so we start up Uppy, allow multiple, auto proceed. Okay, so we're gonna define all those things. So now what we can do is we can jump into our button component HTML here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab again, like to grab stuff, a button, okay? So what are we doing? We're setting flex cold, W full, and then the data controller, we just need to update this. So wherever this is used, we're gonna say component identifier, and then it's going to be upload drop zone, right? Like that. So the data controller is linked to upload drop zone, which is what we've just created here. We've got our allowed file types. A direct upload is from Rails application routes URL help us Rails direct uploads. This is provided by ActiveStorage. Then we have field name value and then the update URL value, okay? Then we've just defined our styles here. And then this one, we need to update here as well. Fix that target is the dashboard trigger. And then we got our class and then our button text, okay? So we need to define a few of these things. So I'm just gonna grab what that looks like. So, inside of our component RB, we need to find some options, right? So we're gonna have allowed file types, and then we're gonna have default is a proc, and the default is just all images, right? So that's what we're gonna allow in this drop zone here. Next up, we got button text. So we're gonna go option, button text, same thing, default, upload files, and this is a proc, like that. Option field name, and this is default proc nil, and then here we've got the update URL, same thing, okay? What are you saying here, Chief? Prefer double, okay? I also prefer double. There we go. Lovely. So that's all set up there. Now we should have access to those things in here. So button text, and then here we're gonna go allowed file types, field name, update URL, okay? Let's have a look what we have. There we go, we've got to upload files. So let's see if we click it, nothing, okay? So that's not working yet. We have to just double check what's going on there. We also need to just probably double check that our stimulus controller is actually running. Let me just bump this up as well. So in here, window.stimulus.modules by identifier, and that can show us what's actually running here. So it looks like we're not running our stimulus controllers yet. Let's just make sure. That's interesting. Let's restart. Let's make sure we've actually, are we loading them? No, it's not loading our modules. It might be crashing. Is it crashing? No, it's building. The class identifier is removed. Okay, so we actually have to add in the functionality for view components, which I must have skipped in the last video. So we need to go and do auto load our view components. So we do need something here. So under here, we've got view components controller, which just tells it where to go. Views component controller JS. So I need to just double check. So that's looking for all inside the view components folder, and it's a glob, and it's looking for controller JS. And then it's running through each one, and it's transforming the name from this kind of mess into this. Okay. So let's save that. There's a build error here. So it can't find views/components from this area. Let's just make sure we're in the right spot. JavaScript controllers, application. So you can't find this. Views components. That should work fine. We do need a relative require though. Let me see. Let me find that. Yeah, it's a bit of a lame one. We've got to paste this file in here. There's a custom ESBuild file. We need this ESBuild Rails file as well. So let's just go yarn add. It's a little bit of a config thing, but it just makes it easy so you don't have to keep registering all your controls. So this is what I added there. And then what we're doing is we're just basically watching these directories. And we're also wrapping, if you look at this ESBuild Rails, it wraps, it's a plugin there, and that'll allow us to do the config stuff. So let's just see if that's working. Let's restart. What are you missing? Could not resolve. Oh, we also have to change the way our package is built. So we want to run, so instead of building now with the default, it's all these little things you forget when you start new projects. We want to just run this. We want to run node. Okay, so now if we close this, let's see. Still, okay, well that's good. I think we got one step closer. We're getting a different error now. So JavaScript utils Uppy ActiveStorage uploader. So where is that coming from? From upload drop zone controller, okay. So let's have a look. So which file? It's this one, Uppy ActiveStorage uploader. That's there. So why JavaScript utils? Yep, so what I just needed to do is just go one more level up, and that's funny. Now we got our next one. So we need the CUID2, parallel drive CUID2. How fun's debugging on the fly? So what we need to do now is go yarn add, come on, mate. Yarn add parallel drive CUID2. All right, are we there yet? Now we need Rails ActiveStorage. That's weird. I thought that would definitely be included, but that's not. Okay, so we're gonna go yarn add Rails ActiveStorage. Just a few packages here, the JavaScript world, we love it. Gotta love it. Okay, that looks like we're golden. Let's see, we're running, we booted, we're golden. All right. Okay. So now we just have to figure out why we're not getting our button there, but we should be initializing Uppy. Let's just have a look. We've set the controller. It's all set up. We've got the dashboard trigger, upload drop zone. Let's make sure that this is actually all being set up properly. Oh, what's this? Something's broken here. You can see that's not correct. That's not correct. So we need to fix that. It's not building the right, definitely not building the right stuff there. Okay, so what I needed to do is I forgot this piece as well. I mustn't have set up view components properly at all. But we needed to have these references here, component name, identifier, self-identifier, and then the component here. And then once we put that in and refresh the page, we're now getting, you can see it says data upload drop zone target, boom. Data upload drop zone, field name value, URL name value, boom, boom, boom. Now we got something here, but the styles are not obviously being rendered properly. So we'll just have to have a look at I know what we have to do. We have to inject those styles as well, so this can work properly. but it's getting there. It's getting there. Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to make a small change to how Tailwind gets built. We're gonna call this application Tailwind, CSS. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into our layouts, into our application. So style sheet here will be, we're gonna have two now. We're gonna have application Tailwind and application, okay? Because we're building our own one now using ESBuild, and then we're also building one with Tailwind. So let's just add both of those in so we don't get stuffed. That should be there. Okay, that has to rebuild, so we have to just go here, restart everything because we've just changed this. So let's close that, rebuild. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that you can see that stuff went away. Oh, okay, so we need to catch that button, but it's, you saw that actually load, right? So that little flash. So we're on, we're very close, very close. And what's probably happening here is this button is acting like a submit. That's what's probably happening, right? So this is actually, because it's a button, let's just add a type to it. And hopefully that doesn't trigger. There we go. So what's happening is that button was acting like a submit button. Every time we're hitting it, it's basically submitting the form. So now we just add the type button. Boom, now we've got our little uploader, all right? So we can actually continue to the next step. Okay, so what we can do now, remember we set up those parameters in here, these options, right? So we have the allowed file types. So to be explicit, we should probably add them here. So it's kind of good to have that there. So what are our allowed file types? What is the field name? And then what is the update URL? So that's what happens once the image is uploaded. Okay. And this is, we're just going to set this to be the same here, image all, because we're only going to allow images to be uploaded against these things. Sweet. Okay, so our file or field name, so let's just pull that up again, form, is image file, right? Remembering that's what we set before. And what we're going to do here, the URL is going to be something like v1, and then it's going to be images create from file path. And then what we're going to say here is going to be subject type and subject ID. And in our instance, we're in a listing. So the subject type is listing. So these are going to be the parameters we're going to use to create the image. Because basically what we're doing is we're creating an image from a file. We're going to pass up the file and then we're going to say, create us an image object. And this image object will belong to a subject and the subject ID, which is actually listing.id here. So let's just have a quick look. So if we go into luxury stays, we go to images. So we got the subject and then the organization, right? So we can also pass that up as well. Organization ID is going to be listing.organization ID. Okay. So I'll just do this so we can see them nicely. Right, so we need to set up this path now, okay? We also actually have to create the controller to do the image. So we're gonna go into V1 and then we're gonna go into dashboard and then we're gonna create an images controller. All right, so let's create our new images controller.rb here. So let's set this up. So we're gonna grab all this, set up the class, module. Okay, so we got images controller here. And then we're gonna have create from file. Okay. It's got like an auto formatter all of a sudden. Got like some sort of prettier on here or something. Okay, so we're gonna set this up. We also need to set up the routes. So here we're gonna have images and we're gonna have resources. Do we need all the resources? Let's just do a post and it's gonna be images / create from file. Oh no, I'm not sure I love that auto formatter that just got installed at some stage. Anyway, great. So let's go here. So we're gonna have now image.new, image equals image.new, and then what we're gonna use are those params that we've provided. So we're gonna say organization is params, organization ID. So basically all the params that we're setting up, and then subject, this should be organization ID. This should be subject ID. And then we're gonna have subject type. Now, what we could do here as well, you could scope this down, but let's just authorize this. Okay, and this is gonna be create. So let's go and create a little policy quickly. So we're gonna go in here, we're gonna go image policy.rb. This can be very much like this listing one, right? So just copy paste that in. Image, manage user organizations include the record organization, right? And then all we really care about right now is just create. And we don't actually want, I don't think we want a scope right now because we'll never really add that kind of thing. Man, I'm not so happy about this little formatter we just inherited at some stage. Okay, so we got our create from file route now. Let's go and run Rails routes and just double check I got that naming. Rails routes, and then see that we have our dashboard images create from file. So it's v1 dashboard images create from file. Let's go have a look. We've used the right thing. So it's v1. So I had missed dashboard, so it's there. And then we're gonna go path. And then that's organization ID, subject type listing, subject ID. Great. So that should now pass it up. Let's have a look. So this is what happens. Uppy will do its thing. It'll upload it to its spot with the direct upload URL here that we passed in. Then it's gonna have the dashboard. So these are our dashboard options. Then from there, I think I should almost change this as well. Dark, because it's defaulting to light. Let's just see if this works. Yep, light mode for this website. And then we have upload success. So when it's uploaded, it's gonna hit this upload success thing, right? It's gonna pass in the file and the response. We're gonna get the signed ID. So that's the ID that Rails will pass back for us to reference the file in our DB. We're gonna create a new form data and we're gonna use the field name value and we're gonna pass up the signed ID. So it's gonna look like image file equals, and then this is like some unique hash, right? So it's like a security thing, and that's a signed ID, okay? So that's what's gonna get passed up there. We're gonna do a turbo stream request, and we're gonna pass up the data, all right? Here's the debugger running. So let's see if we're anywhere close to, if I've forgotten something, most likely. Let's have a look. The only way to debug is through. So let's run this image. Maybe one of these. So chuck that in there, upload the file, complete. What happened in the background? You can see that it did a direct upload here. It got the file, and now you can see it's stored here. Then we created a file. We said for organization ID, subject 1, image file that's the hash. And we didn't get a preview because we had no response, but let's see what happened inside here. No template found, right? So we have no template, so we're rendering nothing. But let's check our DB. No image found either. Okay, well that makes sense. You know why? Because Ken, you're in nonc. All we've done is initialize the image, right? So what we need to do is now save it. Okay, to save it, we're gonna respond. So we're gonna say image.save. Then what are we gonna do here? So now depending, we want to return most likely an image component, right? So that's probably what we're going to have to do. So at the moment, this is in the turbo stream, it's returning a create from file, but I don't want to do this one. I think it's not ideal. I reckon what we could do here is probably just render a redirect and just refresh. We'll do it, you use turbo morph to do a refresh. Do we want to do that? I wonder if that'll break the page because it'll be refreshing too many times. So realistically, what we want to do is probably return a component, I think. But for now, let's just render. I'm not going to render anything, okay? I just want the image to save. So let's just give that a go. Okay. Let's see. There we go. We got an image that belongs to this. Now if we jump into Rails C and we go image.first.file.url. Is there no file? There's the file. .blob. There's no blob there. Let's just make sure. How fun's debugging? There's the blob. Okay, so we do have it. So it should actually respond. So what we can do is let's just go back into our form. And what we're gonna do here is actually, do we have them probably above there? So what we'll do here is we'll create a new div. Then we're gonna go flex wrap. You know what, it'd probably be a grid if we're honest. But anyway, let's just do this. Let's create a component for an image. I think that's probably what we wanna do. So components, dashboard, and then we'll create an, do we create an image component there? Because listings and placings will use the same. I think image thumb. Let's create an image thumb component for now. So we're gonna go Rails G view component, and we're gonna go inside of dashboard slash image thumb. Okay. Now from here, we're gonna say if listing.images.present. Now this is where like you can start optimizing, right? You can do, make sure you're not doing n+1 queries and all that, but right now I'm just trying to get an MVP out, so I'm not gonna be too worried about that. So please don't stress. You can fix it up later at any time when you get users. So we're gonna loop through here. And now what we're gonna say is we're gonna render out a component, and it's gonna be called dashboard slash image thumb. And the image is gonna be image. Okay, so what we need to do inside of image thumb is it needs to expect an option of an image. Now let's just see. What do we have? It doesn't know how to find image thumb. Let's see why. Yep, we need to just chuck an underscore there. For some reason, it doesn't constantize that properly. There we go. Okay, so we got one image. So we're on the right track. We got it there. So now what we can do here is we can render this guy. Now it's gonna be probably in a div. Oh man, I need to fix this as well. All right, so this is gonna be class, and then we're gonna say flex, aspect. What are we gonna do for an aspect? Not a, maybe, what's a photo normally? 3x2, right? It's probably what we wanna do. Then we need to put the image here. So it's image tag, I believe. Image tag. And then we're going to use image.file.variant. This is where you can do variants, right? So we're not going to do variants right now. No, we probably do need to do variance, because otherwise the full size is going to get jammed into there. So if we're going to go 3 by 2, or what's that? Let's go 300 by 200 just for my brain, so it actually functions. And then we're going to go width, full, height, full, object, cover. Let's see what that looks like. Can't build a URI. Why not, sir? No, like nil location provided. Okay. I have a feeling it's because of the file here, right? So what we can do here is we can add this def render, render method, and we're gonna say image.file.attached. Okay, so now it's not going. So there's something's not working with our image here, right? So it's not actually getting uploaded. That's why they're not actually attaching. So for some reason, this blob, the ActiveStorage attachments are not working. The blobs are there, and it's this attach record. So you know what it is? It's when, this is what's going on. It's another mistake. It's called a skill issue. So inside of here, we're initializing an image, but we're not actually attaching the file. That's what's happening, everyone. Just me making mistakes. So let me just find the actual code that we need to use. This one, boom. So we need to use that. Okay, file is dig image file. That's what's gonna come up. All right, let's have a look now. Now when we upload an image, do you work? Let's chuck that in, upload a file, refresh this. Hey, should have worked. Let's make sure when we upload that's actually going. There's an error. What is the error? What is the problem? 500, okay, so we've done something wrong there. What's going on? Let's try again. Clear that. Upload. Upload. Undefined respond to for image on line 15. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. That will do it. Now what you can see, and something to highlight also while we're just on this topic, there we go, game on. All right, we got image uploads, so that's cool. Now, something that I want to just highlight quickly is you can see that we've got all these blobs, right? But they don't belong to anything. So what that's doing is creating and taking up storage on your server. You need to run, there's an ActiveStorage job that they provide, which is the cron. Use a cron job to be able to clean up the unattached. Purging unattached, this one, right? So you want to add this to your code as a cron job that runs. So this will clean up and purge later. So it runs through all the blobs that are unattached and it figures that out, and then it clears them and deletes them out of your storage so that your storage stays pristine and you're not wasting and paying for things you don't need. So there we go, we've got an image upload, okay? So that's very exciting, but that's really annoying. So I'm gonna just delete that image because that's really not ideal. So let's go. So we're gonna go image dot, we're gonna go image.all.destroy all. Oh, whoops, jump into Rails C first. There you go, and so you can see it's deleting the files as well at the same time. So boom, that's gone. Okay, so now what we need to do is upload some real actual files. So we need to obviously implement deletion. That's something key if you want to rename them, but that's all kind of stuff like whatever, you can do that later. I just want to get the main proof of concept happening. And then, so what we can do now actually, before we stop, is just quickly change this here. So we're gonna return a component. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go turbo stream do. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna set up turbo actions. We're gonna create a toast component. Do we have, let's just see if we have that yet. Views component. Do we have toast? There, we do have a toast. So the toast component, and we're gonna say, what is this thing? It's an image was successfully created. And we're also gonna say append to images. And this is where we're gonna go dashboard, image thumb component, new. And we're gonna pass in the image. And we're gonna render in the view context. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to render turbo stream, turbo actions. I like doing it this way. I was creating partials inside of the views, but I find this way just so much easier to figure out what's going on. So what we do need to do now is actually inside of, not our image thumb, but inside of our form is the component that holds them all needs to have an ID here called images. So we're gonna append using turbo stream. We're gonna pop an image in here. So let's see if that actually works. First, let me go get some images because that'll help. So we're working on Bunker House. Let's go get some. All right, let's try upload some files. So check out this place, man. Crazy. Upload it. Obviously didn't work. But there's one. So let's see why it didn't work. Something failed here. Let's try another one. So we're getting uninitialized dashboard, image thumb component. Okay. Let's see, why are you doing that? We need to grab the actual, that's it there. So let's have a look, what's going on? What can't it do? Something uninitialized constant v1 dashboard image thumb, create from file. Why is it appending v1? Let's see if that works. Last one. There you go. You saw that one pop in, okay? So there we go, we've got 3 photos now. So obviously, looking at it quickly, you saw that automatically pop in as well, which is really cool. So let's go and grab some more images. This place is an absolute stunner. Look at this, boom. Luxury stays, hey? So refresh this page, let's upload some files. Let's chuck 2 in at a time. Both of these hit upload. There you go, you saw them pop in, boom. Okay, so we've got image uploads working beautifully. Now, though, we do need to fix a little image thumb. So let's just go aspect square. Let's go rounded large. Let's go overflow hidden. So we can trim that. Now it's still doing something super weird there. What is, resize the limit, here we go. So it's 200 by 200. There we go. What's going here? I want this to W width high, object cover. Okay, so maybe we have to just also just set, let's just set this. W, what's a good width? Maybe 60 and height 60. Give it an actual, some dimensions to play. There we go, okay. So let's change this to like 30. Yep, there we go. Okay, let's just quickly add a gap here. So inside of our form, we're gonna have a gap of 2. Okay, we got some there. And then also let's just chuck on this guy MB2 so it matches the rest of the form fields, upload files, okay? And then this one here also needs, we need to add a, maybe we should just chuck this dude inside the images box as well. There we go. Okay, so now we have image upload. All right, so that's amazing. Now when we go back, what we want to do is just chuck an image in here, and then that's pretty much job done for now. Obviously, we're far from being there, but we're going to get there. So dashboard, listings, listing in here. What we're going to do now is, this is the image spot here. So it's the same concept as this image sub. So I'm just going to grab it. And then in here, we're gonna render this like that. Don't need, yeah, we'll leave the BG for now. And then this is, what you'll need to do here also is like if image, oh sorry, it's not image anymore. It's gonna be listing.image.attached. Then we do this, otherwise we're gonna render a blank state, right? But for now, we're just gonna do this. And then this will be listing.image.file. And there's another thing here. We need to change this. We need to create a default image here. So what we're gonna do is go into listing, and we're gonna create a new method here. So it's gonna be listing, it's gonna be default image, and it's gonna be images dot order, and it's gonna be sort ascending, and it's gonna be first, right? So when we can sort these images, we're gonna use it. At the moment, all our sorts are null. So file for nil, that's fine. And what we're gonna say here is just do a safe. Boom, there we go, bunker house. And in here, we're gonna go overflow hidden. There we go. Is that right? And we wanna go object center, I think. Can you do that? No, anyway, that's good enough for now. Cool, image uploads. That's how we do it. There are a few missing pieces along the way, but I think we got there in the end. So let's just grab one from Graylee and just do a quick, this is another absolute banger. So if we go into, do you have pictures here, team? Gables, the orchard, the secret garden, the spa. They've got some really good stuff here. The old Graylee. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. This one will do. Oh no, it's all through Instagram. All right, here we go. Let's go. Hey, where's Graylee's? Ah, okay, so I've made a little mistake. So what I have done is I'm hiding the box in the form. Where are you, champion? Let's close all this off. So we need to find our form again, here. So look, remember we said only if listing images are present. Now we can get rid of that because we want to actually show this box always because it's actually got the button inside of it. There we go. That should have a margin bottom. Ah, wait. Let's just make sure. Okay, this needs to live inside of there. And then this can go. And this can go in. Boom. Okay. Upload. Boom. That's a nice one. Upload. Done. The image popped in. Sick one. You don't have to save listing. There you go. Images done. We've got images. Now, let's have a look. Can't help myself. I'm supposed to stop the video. We need to change this. Let's just quickly do it while we can, while we're here. Come on, guys. So it's inside of the landing featured component. So landing featured listing. Here we go. Let's copy it from here because we can. Boom, boom, boom. In here. Like that. And then this will need a bigger picture. So it also looks like W full H48. So it's a bit of it's like a 16 by 9 style. So let's go, or 16 by 9. What are we going to use here? Let's go 1200 by 800 for now. There we go. There we go. We're going to go overflow, hidden again. Boom. Not the best of bunker house, but what we can quickly proof of concept here is if we look at images now, listing 1, you can play with these sorts. So 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Now that should stay the same. But if we go, let's set this one as 0, this one as 3. There we go. So you can see that our sorts are being maintained, right? So let's swap those around. There we go. So we've got our sorting. So that's going to give us our default images, and that's how people can control what images they want to show on the domain. But that is looking so much better. So we're going to go through here. I could just have to upload pictures, obviously, and then next time we can continue on. All right, team, catch you on the next one.